Okay, welcome class to our session for today. So this time we are going to have simple discount, cash flow diagrams, and then the compound interest. So yung ating learning objectives that at the end of the session, you'll be able to, number 1, memorize formulas involving simple and compound interest and simple discount. Actually, we have dealt with a simple interest already. So by and by, we will discuss simple discount and the compound interest. And then of course, our key to the solution is the cash flow diagram. So it is essential for solutions to the problem. So one of your learning objective is to construct them. Then number 3, solve problems involving interest, inflation, and discount. So let us start with the definition of the simple discount, no? So it is actually an interest deducted right away. So it is income produced by the money which have been loaned, wherein the discount is equal to the future times N times D. So remember class, the discount is similar or synonymous to interest. Remember that interest is the earnings of money which will be paid in the future. Okay? While simple discount, it is the interest of the money which will be paid or deducted at the present time. So D stands for the discount, the future worth, and then the discount rate. So it is noted here that when we talk of discount, dapat given ang future worth. Kapag interest naman, dapat present worth ang given or the principal. So nagkaiba lang sila sa rate. So when we talk on the multiplier to that of the given, say the future worth and then N here, the multiplier is the discount rate. So while the multiplier on the interest is I or the interest rate. So by and by we will introduce to you a relationship between the discount rate and the interest rate. And of course, N will remain to be discount period. So from that, we have learned that F is equal to P plus I, or the principal plus the earnings, the money, I. Hence, rearranging terms solving for P is equal to F minus F and D. So, tingnan nyo, yung I, sinubstitute ko yung F and D because I and D are the same. And then from that, we can factor out F here, okay? And then, remember that F is equal to P times 1 plus IN. Parang nagbaliktad lang. Sabi nga natin, when we talk of discount, future worth ang given. So, notice that in equation, P is equal to F times 1 minus 8 ND, implicit to the equation, when we say implicit, nasa loob ng equation, is yung F because F is given. While that of the equation of the interest involving IN, on the second one, ang implicit sa equation is P, wherein the present worth shall be utilized to get the future value. Now, if we have to investigate the relationship of the two, we will refer to the basic equation wherein the discount is equal to future times N times D. So similarly, I is equal to the present worth times N times I. So again, D here will be in terms of the future because the future worth are given, or the future worth is already given if we talk on discount, while of the interest, the present worth is given so that we can utilize it implicitly. So we can equate that I is equal to D and then substitute the equation. We can cancel out n here. Therefore, the resulting equation is FD is equal to PI. And then we're going to recall that P is equal to F times 1 minus ND from the formula of discount. Substituting it on the right-hand equation, we can now cancel F both sides. And considering 1 peso per 1 year analysis, meaning we will just have to substitute all the values of n to 1. And so we can compute for I in terms of D, or in terms of or D in terms of I. So this is what we call banker's discount. So let us be careful to use banker's discount. It is noted here that this is based on 1 peso per 1 year analysis. So meaning, if you're going to use this one, make sure that the derivation of D to that I involves proportion of N, no? Huwag mong gagamitin yan diretso if you know that the duration is less than 1 year, or it is not 1 year. Okay? So, bago mo gamitin to, 1 peso per 1 year analysis, or this formula, you should consider proportioning the number of days to that of the interest period, which is 360. So this is what we call banker's discount. Now, considering an example, Janet Alukod was granted a loan of 20,000 pesos by her employer, Now Construction Corporation, with an interest at 6% for 180 days on the principal that is collected in advance. The corporation would accept a promissory note for 20,000 non-interest for 180 days. If discounted at once, what is the interest and what will be the proceeds on the note? So this problem is unique in such a way that our interest period is already set at 180 days. So it could no longer fall on the standard or ordinary simple interest wherein we consider 360 days as interest period. So this time, it takes off from 180 days duration. So basing on the formula, I is equal to P and I. Okay, so our principal is 20,000 here. Why shall we say that the given is 20,000? Because if we investigate the problem here, the principal is collected in advance. Okay? And the principal referring to is a loan of 20,000. So therefore, that should be the principal with an interest rate of 6% and a specific interest period of 180 days, so that the interest period, the number of interest period, will be equal to number of days all over interest period. So basically, we will have an n of 1, so that we can readily compute for the interest by using formula P and I. So we will yield to 1,200 pesos, and 180 days is actually the legal due date, no? So kinolekta niya yung 20,000. So that is the condition if the principal is collected in advance. But on the condition of discount, promissory note, mag-iiba yan. Because from this 20,000 after 180 days, Janet is obliged to pay the principal plus interest, wherein there is no discount within that period. So on the condition of the discount or promissory note for 180 days, just the same, we have R is equal to 6%. This time we're gonna set the given 20,000, okay, to the future, because the interest or the discount will be deducted right away at the beginning of the period or at present period. So the principal is unknown here. Of course, principal is just equal to F minus I. So 20,000 minus 1 2, that is 1,800 pesos. Okay, that's it for this problem. So that is actually the proceeds on the note. So moving on to another problem we have here. Mr. Alden Buen borrowed money from a bank. He received from the bank 1,340 pesos and promised to pay 1,500 pesos at the end of 270 days. Which of the following gives the banker's discount? So as a matter of solution, we need to illustrate the cash flow diagram. On the present time, he acquired a loan of 1,340 pesos and he's gonna pay 1,500 pesos after 270 days. So from this, we can use this formula, no? But there's no given yet, either I or even D. So basically, we will use the formula I is equal to F minus B. So here we're going to derive the interest. It is just the difference, no? The future and the present. So kung alam natin yung I, we can now use I is equal to P and I. Okay, just substitute the given. N here is 270 over 360. Substitute all the given, so we'll be having that one. I is equal to 15.92%. So using this, you can just directly substitute 15.92% on the equation. You'll arrive at 13.73%. Okay. Next. A motorbike specified the cost as $1,200 at the end of 100 days, but offers 4% discount cash in 30 days. What is the highest rate, simple interest, at which the buyer can afford to borrow money in order to take advantage of the discount? So in here, we just need to determine the range. Okay? Ano ba yung range? Kasi sa 100 days, ang babayaran mo, you're gonna pay $1,200, while if you pay earlier, you'll be having a 4% discount. So instead na 1,200, mababawasan ng 4%. And 100 minus 4 is 96%, or we multiply 1, 2 with that 0.96. We'll be having 1,152 pesos. So the present time is on the 30 days, and the future time is 1,200. So that is the assumption. So that the days between 30 and 100 is 70 days, or the interval between 100 and 30. So that shall be used in the equation. So basically, I is equal to the difference of the future and the present. So we have $48. From that, we can use the formula and solve for I. So I will be equal to 21.43%. So another discount problem. We have compute the discount if 2,000 pesos discounted for 6 months at 8% interest. So what is 2,000 pesos here? Is it the present or the future? So what do you think? So it is actually the future word because we are talking about discount. The P here is not yet known, but the interest rate is given. So what can we do here? If we intend to use this one, because if we think that we can use the future word, the formula for discount is future times number of interest period and times D, F and D. So knowing D, madali na lang. Just substitute that one and then, of course, using this formula, no, we can arrive at 0.074 na discount. Ito yung sinasabi ko, I is equal to D. So proceed ko lang sa formula ng D. D is equal to F and D, or in F is 2,000, N is proportion to 360 days, or that is 0.5 times the discount. Then we arrive at 74 pesos. Knowing that 74 pesos is the discount, it's also the earnings of the money, which is the income or the interest. So from that, I or D is equal to present times the plus the future. So we'll just have to deduct that. We can get the present worth. So the discount here is actually 74 pesos. And our present worth, if we are interested in, is 1,926 pesos. But, however, these are wrong values. Why? We have a precaution to use the formula D is equal to I, 1 plus I. Why can't we directly substitute the given 8% interest on this? Remember the 1 peso 1 year analysis? Basically, 8% is not derived by a proportion to 360 degrees. O sige, balikan natin. Yang bang given na yan, na-derive mo ba yung I na na-proportion yung N? No. So, you cannot directly use that formula. So, that what this solution makes wrong. Okay? And yan, 180 days. It's not 300, it's not derived out of 360. Although, dito, pinoportion mo yung N, ito yung sinasabi ko na dapat i-proportion mo yung N. Kaya lang, 0.074 was already derived beforehand na ginamit mo yung N, which is proportion to 360 days or 1 year. Okay? So, anong gagawin mo ngayon? So, we need to have to consider a alternative solution. Dapat iwasan natin gamitin yung banker's discount formula directly. So, note that I is equal to D and the future worth is P plus I. Kung titingnan natin dito, F is equal to P plus I, hindi ko ginamit yung F is equal to P plus D. Instead, I'm going to use here the present value and the discount rate na 8%. And then from that, ito na, proportion ko yan, N is equal to 180 over 360. Employing that formula, we can derive the present worth 1,923.08. So the interest would be equal to 76.93 pesos. Okay? So wala yung formula ng banker's discount. Okay, moving on to the next problem. We have on March 31, 1996, Mr. Diagon obtains a loan of 1,500 pesos from Mr. Clarin and signs a note promising to pay the principal an accumulated simple interest rate of 5% at the end of 120 days. On May 15, 1996, Mr. Clarin discounts the note at the bank whose discount rate is 6%. How much money did he receive? Assume ordinary simple interest. So basically, we identify here the given. So we have the date here, March 31, 1996. Si Mr. Diagon had obtained a loan of 1,500 pesos. Okay. So the duration is 120 days. And then after how many months? March, April, May. That is actually 45 days in counting. After 45 days, sabi ni Mr. Clarin, you can have a discount at 6% interest on the 15th day of May. So ngayon, that will be the condition. Although the duration is 120 days, there is a provision of discount after 45 days. So let us put that into cash flow diagram. First, if we disregard the discount, okay, of course the present worth would equate to 1,500 pesos. And after 120 days, he's gonna pay a future value considering an I of 5%. I'm sorry, this I should be 5%, Okay, and then we ratio n 120 over 360. So we can derive the future worth equivalent to 1,525. So ito yung dapat bayaran ni Mr. Diagon from Mr. Clarin after 120 days. If we incorporate discount now, we set that F is equal to 1,525 and the discount rate is 6%, then we will be having a present worth. So from that, we can compute D is equal to, or the discount is equal to F and D. Then the future worth is 1,525. Set na natin yan kasi yung na-compute na future. And then after 45 days, we have 45 over 360 times 0.06. We'll be having a discount of 11.44. So from that, we'll just have to deduct 11.44 from the future. So therefore, 1,513.56 ang na-receive ni Mr. Diagon. So meaning, compare, kung kanina, ang nakuha niya lang is 1,500 pesos. Incorporating discount, ang makukuha niya is 1,513.56 pesos. So, yan. That could be an incorporation of discount. So, meron siyang ganansya. So, another problem here, find the discount if 2,000 pesos is discounted for 6 months at 8% simple discount. So, as a solution, ano ba yung 2,000 dito? 2,000 is referring to the future. Because, again, discount ang pinag-uusapan. And then we just have to proportion the number of days of 6 months all over 360. So, we'll be having 0.5. And the discount rate is 8%. With that, we can readily compute for the discount, 80 pesos. Okay? So, this ends our simple discount problems. So, please stand by for the next session, particularly the compound interest topic. So, thank you and good day.